I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Lane here with hteHShackle. I really don't have a lot of time since I'm putting the final preparations together for my trip, in which I will be leaving tomorrow morning bright and early for about 3 weeks. But I've been seeing some things in the charts as I've been taking a look at them throughout the day, and we're starting to make some moves in XRP, so I just wanted to go over a couple of things really quick, so let's get into it. So this is the XRP daily chart, and as you know, price has been falling downwards quite a bit. We have formed a couple of these bearish fair value gaps right up here. And we also had, forming from this candle on the 4-hour chart, a bullish fair value gap that formed right here known as a BISI. We actually filled this gap on the 29th, have set this weak doji right here, which is pushing to the downside, which indicates that it's likely going to have downward or bearish pressure on it. Now, even though we filled this gap and kind of popped back up a little bit right here, I still had the feeling that we were at least going to come down to this yellow box right in this area. So what I would watch is this fair value gap. If we punch through this yellow box right here with this trend line laid on this point here and this point here is going to be a likely candidate for it to stop. If it comes down through this box, it's very likely that we will sweep this low right here coming to around this white line here on the negative 4.5 line that I've added to the chart. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that what's more likely here is it will push down to this yellow box before pushing up, because what they're trying to do is establish liquidity points here, here, and here that they will likely raid later during the flash crash, assuming, of course, that my thesis is correct in the month of April. Now, when this does bounce out of here at some point, wherever that point might be, whether it's here or down here, the thing to watch is going to be this fair value gap here and this top fair value gap right here, because those are not going to be easy. So there is a possibility that when price recovers, that it might get rejected off of one of these fair value gaps. If it gets through this one and gets rejected off of this one, we might see kind of a pinball effect before it gets through. But you'll want to keep an eye on these fair value gaps. Now taking a look at the 4-hour chart just to give you a little bit more context on what we're seeing here, because right here is where I made that call that we were likely going to fall out and price was going to collapse. Now there is a chance that we could retest off of this fair value gap right here moving upwards. You see that quite often in regards to fair value gaps, because this one held so well here. Even though it filled, you can see that the body of the candles did not break past the 50% mark of this fair value gap, which means that it held very well and it has the potential to do just that one more time. And from the looks of this here, even though the wick has dug in, the body of the candle, at least at this time, is staying above that. So we may see a reversal off of this gap. A lot of times these patterns like to retest the same areas before moving in the opposite direction, and it can punch through this. Wicks don't really count. What you're going to be watching is the body of the candle. So even if this wicks down into here and touches this yellow area and comes up, as long as that body of that candle is in this fair value gap above the lower line right here, that will be a good sign. The higher that body is in that fair value gap, the better of a sign it will be that we're likely going to move in this direction. So I'll be posting this chart in the post tab on my YouTube channel as well as on my TradingView account before we go to sleep tonight. If you want to look at them a little closer, I've adjusted some of these levels, because as this information's coming out and the timeline spread gets shorter and shorter, I think it's kind of putting a cap on certain things. So I have been adjusting these levels according to what I think is going to happen, and assuming that this false breakout leg, the fifth wave, does occur, I don't think it's going to move as high as I originally thought it would. Originally I theorized that we would put pressure on this high or this high here, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be more likely, it's going to be very tough on that false breakout leg if it does occur to get through the equilibrium zone. But if we can get above that, we have this fair value gap right here to contend with. And if we do fill this, similar to what we did here, I think we could get rejected off of this fair value gap right here, heading into the flash crash, then moving in to the month of May where I believe we're going to see the breakout. Now wherever this low is set here, if this low comes down and sweeps this out, or even if it doesn't, I believe this flash crash is going to take out whatever the lowest low is on the chart, which at this time is right here. So keep that in mind. It doesn't necessarily have to, but I think that it's going to. Whether that means coming down here to this lower trend line, whether it means punching through it and bouncing off of this fair value gap, whether it means filling this fair value gap and bouncing up similar to what it did here, I think it's going to take out this low. So that's something to keep your eyes on. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the kind words and all the prayers. You have no idea how much that means to me. Do me a favor if you could hit the like button, as it doesn't cost you anything and it helps the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. And I will talk to you when I get back in about 3 weeks, and we will see how this all unfolds together. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on this earth, like it is in heaven, like it is in heaven.